But Arsenal started like a house on fire. Signing number 2 for this new era. It's Judgment Day, people. Yeah! What did your boy tell you? It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. Yes, it is time for another the latest Leeds United update. Everything concerning Leeds United. I was due to go live earlier on, but my good friend Connor was live. There's no point competing with that guy. I had some admin things to do. I had to go view a house. Loads of different stuff going on, yeah. But I was always going to come live today because yesterday we've loads of news, loads of threads, everything going on at Leeds United currently. And there needs to be movement, there needs to be business, there needs to be things done this week for me. I dipped in and out of Connor's stream and he said a lot of noteworthy things, as is always the case. There needs to be a bit of a reality check, I think. I have to tend to agree with a lot of what he said. I sample a lot of content. My main concern, before we get into it, please do smash a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, all that jazz. We're so close to 15k already, I think we're like less than 300 people out, which is amazing. Less than 300 people out, so big up to you all. If you haven't already, as I say, please do like the video. And remember as well, I'll be live tonight as well, because of course, Liverpool take on Crystal Palace, so I'll be doing a watch along of that game, Dale said he thought my Discord, is that what, that's mine popping off, innit? That's mine popping off. I'll quieten that down. So we're going to chat. Listen, we've been linked to players new and old. We're going to chat about all of them, I want to get your opinions on the links on how you see this transfer window moving forward. At the end of this, like for me, after the weekend, what transpired, not only in us throwing away a lead, but also the situation we found ourselves in terms of personnel, then Leeds United need to act and must act. It's negligent not to, A lot's been made in the comments about Forest spent. Listen, we have to be realistic. Their owner came out and said that. I know it's hard as a football fan to look across at any other team who are doing mad business and be like, why can't we do that? We can't compare. They've obviously got a lot of money and a lot more ambitious owners than ours currently. Ours are trying to do it a different way. And I commend them for that. But also what we can't do is what we did last season in terms of running the gauntlet. I said before, Leeds United, do not run the gauntlet. Let's not do that again. Let's not fall into, that trap, because we needed a centre midfielder. We failed to address it. We were told Forshaw would be the man. It went tits up. That was the most vulnerable area in Marcelo Bielsa's system. The most vulnerable area in a Jesse Marsch system is out wide, right? There's question marks over the right back. Has to be said. It's not been great. He's at fault. Although the goals came down our left side, he's at fault as well for not engaging with Shea for the second and heading it out. If I think about the first as well, Armstrong just did him for pace. I know you can't make someone be fast or whatever, but Shea was involved in the build-up to that as well. I've seen a lot of, because I'm big Shea supporters as well, I've seen a lot of people, Shea was terrible, Shea this, Shea that. My man was involved in both the goals. I remember Oscar used to call it a pre-assist. I used to laugh at him. Pre-assist. But if that is a thing, he did that. He was the man that beat Llorente to the punch, that got it down the line for Armstrong. He was the man that brought it out of the air and then laid on the pass to Sekou Mara. Of course, Sekou Mara then has to make that unbelievable pass in behind Jack Harrison. At that point, apparently, we were playing a back five. But listen, there should have been substitutions at that point. Jack Harrison ran himself into the ground. He was tired both mentally and physically. I ain't going to throw shade. But like you say, I'm pretty, chilled about that result. 4 points on the board for me, fifth in the table after 2 games. But snap your hand off before the season started. I think we all would have, yeah? Let's not pretend. Of course, we should have had 6, but it is what it is. But what it does show, I remember before that game, right? We chatted about it in the watch along before, and we spoke. Someone came on and said we had 5 or 6 strikers available, and I'm being negative. I'm still waiting for that guy to show me the 5 or 6 strikers. Anyone saying Sonny Perkins, Mateo Joseph, they shouldn't be anywhere near the first team? Yes, Sonny Perkins was used in the Europa League and had 1 performance against Leeds in the FA Cup, but he's not ready for first team football, nor should we be relying on him. I said to you, if we get into any situation where Dan James is playing up top, we're up shit creek. It happened 2 games in. 2 games in. Not halfway into the season, not 3 quarters, not even a quarter, 2 games in of a 38-game season. Mental. Of course, Jesse Marsch did make changes and put Rodrigo up top, and Rodrigo started really well. He's leading the scoring charts. But please do not let this shroud your judgment in thinking that will be all right because he started well. Because history tells us he won't maintain it. I was watching a bit of Connor, as I say, before I came live, and someone put, Rodrigo's been exceptional since Jesse came in. That's BS. He hasn't. He's had a couple of good performances. Let's be realistic here. And I'd also say that had Leeds United have won that game and not conceded 2, the noise for Rodrigo would be even bigger, and therefore you get shot down even more for even suggesting a striker. Someone said to me, we've got, what? You mean Spain's number 9? Come on now. Let's not do that. He was Spain's number 9. He came to Leeds, he's now not. But what I will say on Patrick Bamford as well, remember I said he was broken before the season started, little tongue-in-cheek after he played against Stoke, then didn't play again. And I said Ledley King vibes. Well, I don't know if you're aware, we sort of missed it. I missed it anyway. But in Jesse Marsch post-match, let me just do that again. Jesse Marsch's post-match presser, yeah, he said, on Bamford, we have to manage him appropriately, trying to reduce any risk to Bamford by limiting his training load during the week. So my man is literally being managed through training, like Ledley King. He's not doing as much as the other lads. And remember, Jesse said when he first came in, one of the things he said is they were overtrained. Yeah, incorrectly he said it, but he said it. He then rushed Bamford back and Bamford got injured. And we were all like, hang on. Now, I understand handling him with kid gloves. I get it. But what I'm saying is the club, Jesse, he should be banging down Victor's door, banging down Radrizzani's door. Because he should be saying, my main man, my top striker can't even train fully for the week. He can't do it. I'm having to manage him through. And I think Jesse had said to Bamford, as soon as you feel any sort of niggle, you would let me know. James was warming up even prior to, long before Bamford came off. So they were aware of the situation. Yeah. So the fact that all this is going on and the fact that we've not addressed the striker because we don't, the narrative from the club is we don't want to stand in the way of Joe Gelhardt. Well, he's injured. And history has told us he gets a lot of injuries. And for me, it's all about competition. Like people have mentioned about Nottingham Forest, and I don't like to compare because they've got more money. I remember Villa doing bits. Villa have got more money. They've got cash money. We haven't. We have to be aware of that situation and realistic in our targets, which I don't think a lot of us are, which I've said before when people have said to me, we need 20, 30 goals a striker, man. A streaker. We don't want a streaker on the pitch. A 15-goal a season, man. People laughing at me for suggesting more pay. 26 goals in 3 seasons, not too bad. Would fit like a hand in a glove to our system because people want more. You know, they see it as underwhelming and all that sort of stuff, which I understand, but we have to be realistic. And that's also when we look in terms of comparing. But what I will say about Forest, Awoni played yesterday. We did the watch along. He was great. He scores a goal. They then go out and sign Emmanuel Dennis. Do they really need more pay? Do we think they really need more pay? They're doing it anyway. They've got Sam Surridge. I know Surridge isn't up to the level, but what I'm saying is they have options and they're not bothered. They'll continue to spend. Now, I know Leeds United can't continue to spend at the rate at what Forest are, or other clubs for that matter. But we should also be very prudent. They're telling us they're being prudent, but we should be prudent with the current squad we've got and the options within it. It won't cost 30 million, which is the money we had set aside for CDK. It will not cost 30 million to go get an adequate replacement for someone who's not on the bench. You know what I mean? It's not even a replacement. You know, I think people want someone to come in that's better than Bamford. It ain't going to happen. You have someone who's going to compete with him of a similar sort of level. And if he usurps Bamford, then he usurps him. He more than likely might, because Bamford's always broken. Do you know what I mean? Now, Jesse Marsh was asked post-match about it. Obviously, he gave his things on Bamford about him being, we have to reduce any risk to Bamford, limiting his training load. But he also said, sorry, just bear me one moment there. I do apologise. I've changed to this because I was drinking far too many Monsters. I woke up in the morning the other day, shaking until I had a coffee. Man's mad on caffeine, that is. So I was like, I need to knock him on the head. So I bought Lucozades now. That'll be a little bit better. Yeah. So he said, we're trying to be prudent in how we make our last decision. A striker has always been on our mind. Like I said to you, and I've been banging that drum, the club would only do business if we started poorly or Bamford got broke. Bamford's injured. Regardless if he's back for Chelsea, it still shows us that he's struggling. Yeah, and he's being managed, right? So they've always wanted it. It now has to be at the front of their mind. It now has to be at the front of their mind. And they, for me, must make moves. Must make moves. Now, there's also shouts for left back. Of course there is. And we've seen some pretty credible links come out in the last 24 hours for Philadelphia Union left back Kai Wagner. We'll have a chat about him before we then move across to the striker options. Kai Wagner, a German, playing over in MLS. So, of course, Jesse is interested in him. We aren't the only club interested in Kai Wagner. Benfica and Dynamo Zagreb are also interested in him. There has been no official bid yet from Leeds United, but there's a lot of noise coming out. I remember Tom Bogart saying the next big transfers from MLS will be Tati Castellanos, and then he mentioned Kai Wagner. Obviously, Tati went to Girona, I think, but Kai Wagner's the next one off that list of stars to come from MLS to make that move across Europe. Now, of course, Benfica, huge club, Dynamo Zagreb, also featured in Europe a couple of times. I don't know what they're currently doing now. Maybe they are. I don't know, but I know they did in the past. And there has been good communication between Leeds United and Kai Wagner's camp. The overall understanding is that there is still time in the window and all sides want the best solution. Now, the window, I think my man Justin said earlier, there's about 16 days left, is there? About 16 days left of the window. Big up, Toby. All right, mate. Please, if you haven't already, while I just remember as well, like the video. We've got 75 likes. There's about 250 of you watching. Please do like the video if you haven't already. It just shows support for the channel. So talks are ongoing between Leeds and Philadelphia Union. And the boss of Philadelphia Union, Curtin, I think his name is, he actually came out and said that I've spoken with Jesse Marsh about Kai Wagner's status. So that's out there. That's coming from the horse's mouth. The manager has said, I've had conversations with Jesse. He said, we'd like him to stay. Of course we would. He's one of our key assets. But we also understand that Kai wants to test himself at the highest level. And the club are just waiting for an official offer. Now, for me, his transfer market value is around about 2.7. I've seen people mention around between 6 and 9. Basically, it's gonna cost you less than 10 million. Less than 10 million for this left back. Now, there is a little bit of a worry that he's never played in any of the top leagues, but he is regarded as one of the best fullbacks in MLS. 25-year-old, very creative, very technical, but he has never played at the top level. But for me, it's risk adverse, the transfer fee that you are going to be paying for Kai Wagner. And if Jesse Marsch is big on him, then give him the tools. Leeds United do need another left back. Yeah, Pascal Struijk, I think, has completed the most tackles in the Premier League thus far. I think he's up there. But that, I mean, naturally, it's like Ilian Melier, you know, he's already in the top 50 in such a short space of time for saves made. But that's because Leeds United concede a lot of chances. We have a lot coming down our left side. That's why, you know, Pascal's making these challenges. And he has played okay, but let's be honest, he shouldn't be playing there. He shouldn't be playing there. We should have another option. Now, Sticky says Firpo is going to prove you all wrong this season, right? Which, that's fine, but I'm not even on about Firpo here, bro. It's not even about Firpo for me. It's about Leeds having an option there, which we don't currently have. We have a centre-back come left-back. We need another left-back there. Someone to push Junior. Listen, Sticky, I hope Junior Firpo has an amazing season. I wouldn't love nothing more. I don't believe he will, but of course I do. Because, you know, he don't get suspended, he don't get injured, and he plays, well, he can't play 38. He plays, 35 games, and he's amazing, and in Team of the Year. I want all of that. And I hope it does prove me wrong. But I'm yet to see it. Right? But this isn't about, for me, this isn't about Junior. It's about having an option there. 2 players in each position, as iPad app play says. That's how it should look. We have one, and he's cropped. So that, straight away, you go out and get a left back. Like I said, transfer value, 2.7 million. Okay, we might not get him for that. You know, it's always maybe a little bit less than what their actual valuation is. Leeds probably would have to pay more than that. But let's say it's anywhere between 5 and 8. How can you not make that happen for me if Jesse's big on him? He's creative. He's one of the best fullbacks in MLS. But what I will say, there is a sticking point for me. It's the fact that he hasn't played in any of the top leagues. Now, as I mentioned earlier as well, these other clubs that are interested in him, the likes of Benfica and Dynamo Zagreb, of course, there is competition there, which may drive up the price as well, but it's not going to cost you more than 10 million, right? Jesse Marsch is the one driving this. We gave him Christensen. Jury's massively out on that, let's be honest. If you were to ask me if Luke Ayling were fit for Chelsea, would I start him? I would. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion at the minute. That might change. It's still early days. It takes a lot to, you know, get into full mode in this division. But apparently Kai Wagner's camp prefer the move to Leeds United, yeah? Prefer the move to Leeds United, prefer the move to the Premier League, prefer to move under Jesse with, you know, other players that have played in the MLS previously. We've got a German in Robin Koch as well. Make it happen. For me, it's cheap as chips. It is cheap as chips, and it's an easy deal to do. Get him over here. Get him over here. If we look at his numbers from last season as well, so MLS obviously finished top of the division. 5 assists last season, no goals. Prior to that, 4 assists, 3 goals. You know, it's just that step up to the Premier League. But at this point, it's worth running the risk for the price you will pay when you don't have a second choice left back, which is what we don't have right now. You know? So Kai Wagner is certainly one that I would sign off on. And Jesse wants him, right? And also, Brendan Aronson played for Philadelphia Union as well, as Toby Ward says. And he's not half bad, is he? Probably best player in our side, to be honest. I rate him, man. He's sick. Right, let's talk about that striker then now. There's loads of name linked. New and old, as I said. And we do need one there because as it currently stands, we don't have a fit striker in our midst. Okay, Rodrigo, you could argue, but you know we don't have a striker in our mix now. Shay Adams, okay, we'll start with him. You know, I'm big on Shay Adams. I rate him, and I think he would work alongside Bamford. He could also deputise for Bamford when he's injured. We wanted him back in January of 2020. That move didn't happen. But he's someone the club is still big on. Now, Ralph Hasenhüttl doesn't want to lose him, but apparently the Southampton board are open to offers for him. As I said, people only look at it from a goals and assists standpoint. He offers you so much more as well. As Southampton can be a testament to, because he was involved in both the goals, in the lead up to both the goals for Southampton. I would take Shay Adams in a heartbeat, personally. If we have Shay Adams off the bench at the weekend to come on for Patrick Bamford, we win that game for me. We don't lose the game. He's able to make the ball stick. He's able to bring others into play. You will notice at times when we were under the cosh, we were just hoofing it forward. There was no one there. There was no one there. When James was playing up top on his own, I mean, that guy cannot make the ball stick. As you know, my thoughts on James. It's a hell of a lot of money that was wasted. He's a winger. He's a winger. You know what I mean? He can't be expected to hold it up. Shay Adams. I genuinely believe if Shay Adams came off that bench for us on Saturday, we would not have lost that game. We couldn't get out or get it to anyone, you know. So as you know, I would. Stephen said, would Adams improve us? Not sure. Right. If he came off the bench at the weekend, would he have improved us, Stephen? Ask yourself the question. Would you have preferred him to come on for Dan James? The answer is yes. And if it's not, I'd ask you why. He does improve us. Okay, he may not improve the ceiling of the squad, but he improves the basement of the squad. He brings the level of the squad up. Not like we don't get a better first 11, but the basement of the squad is lifted. Do you see what I'm saying? But Napa N says there has to be better than Adams out there. Who? Who's out there now? Because there is a plethora. There is there's not an abundance of number 9s. There's not an abundance of number 9s, 10. They're not out there. That's why you've got Chelsea struggling to get one. That's why they're still keeping hold of Broja. I'd take Broja. Yeah, but Stephen, this is what I'm saying about, but not in the long term. But it's about the here and now for now, isn't it? We have no fit striker at the football club right now. It's all good saying about the here and now. The future, but we might not even be in the division. I do think we will, but I'm just saying, in the worst case scenario, it's all good saying, right, this is why I wasn't like Callie. He wouldn't have suited our style, and I think the club were right to not make that move, but everyone would have gone mad for Callie. But then just want to dismiss Shea and dismiss Morpay and all these other options that I think would have suited us, you know. But we'll wait and see, because I think Shay Adams is the one that the club might do. Now, and the price, Michael Play says Ivan Toney. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. Sticky says not a fan. Don't understand it, bro. Don't understand how you cannot be a fan of Ivan Toney. Most touches in the opposition box against Manchester United, most distance covered, most aerial duels won, most chances created, scored, assisted 2 goals for the first time in his Prem. I don't know how you could not say Ivan Toney is a great player. And he would instantly improve us. He's better than Bamford. But But Sticky said, did you watch him play for them last season? Yeah. He got numbers, did he not? Did he not get numbers? Let's have a look. 12 goals and 5 assists for your debut season in the Premier League. What? Like, is that not good? 12 goals and 5 assists. And he was injured for a period of time. He made 32 starts and in that time got 12 goals and 5 assists. The man smashes goals. Season before in the Championship, 31. League One, 24. League One, 16. The guy's just improved. And this season, he's got 1 goal and 2 assists in 2 games. Let's not pretend Tony isn't a good player. He is and would improve us insurmountably. Tony is good, but not better than a fit Bamford. I disagree. But that's okay. Like, football's about opinions. Football is about opinions. If we're being honest about Bamford, he's had 2 outstanding seasons. 2. One at Borough, one at Leeds United in the Premier League. Then not much else. Been on loan loads. So Tony's got goals everywhere he's been. You know? But Tony isn't coming to Leeds United. Brentford would want 30 million plus. 30 million plus. I think 30 million would be a starting point as well. Would be a starting point. So Tony's out of the picture. Another one that I think is out of the picture as well is Martin Terrier. Now, he is a long-standing target for Leeds United, right? But he's very happy at Rennes. And Rennes want a big fee, yeah? Apparently, they want 35 million as a starting point. I don't see Leeds United going out for a guy who's 25, who's had 1 profitable season, and spending 35 million on him. There's no guarantee it'll transfer to the Premier League. I wouldn't mind Terrier, but for me, we need someone. It's mad, but we need someone like Shea. You know, Stephen says Terrier, cost, age, 1 season wonder. I agree with you, mate. I do agree with you. That's my thoughts. If he came in, amazing. But we'll see. Let's talk about the here and now. There has been an American MLS striker linked by the name of Brandon Vazquez, which we will talk about as well. We'll also talk about Garner as well, who's available. I remember doing a video back in February of this year. Go check the receipts mentioning mentioning James Garner. I did a bit on him when he was on loan at the Championship at Forest. So, yeah, I do like Garner, and he is available. It's just whether or not we'll move for that. But if you're talking about the here and now, obviously there is a strike from the MLS link called Brandon Vazquez, and we'll talk about him. Let's talk about some other strikers, though, about the here and now. Brereton Díaz, okay? Apparently he's not a league target for Leeds United. I'm glad for that. There is people that would take Díaz over Shea, which I don't understand. Look, Díaz has had a good time whilst at Blackburn. And apparently several Premier League clubs have actually looked at him in the past 2 windows. But top scouts question whether his hold-up play, his awareness off and on the ball will enable him to be good in the Premier League. Some players just aren't ready for that. Dwight Gale, I remember David Nugent getting a big money move and not being able to do it. You know, Jordan Rhodes. There's just some players that are, for me, Championship strikers. He probably will be given an opportunity at a club at some point. But isn't it interesting when you consider someone like a Forest, like a Fulham, like a Bournemouth, who have come up and not thought to go and get Díaz? Let's take him out of the Championship and bring him up with us. Forest haven't done that. You know, they were linked to Shea. They're getting more pay, Dennis, but they haven't brought Díaz with them. I think that's something to be wary of, because we've seen in the past when there has been strikers smashing it in the Championship, if they're of a certain level, they come up. Morpay came up from Brentford, Watkins came up, Andre Gray, a load of others that come up and make that move up. But apparently it's been reported, yes, Premier League clubs have looked at him, but several top scouts question whether his hold-up play and in his awareness often on the ball will enable him to be a Premier League hit. It's a totally different level, the Premier League. Totally different level. You know? So I'm not too sure either. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure on that. But if you were to canvass Leeds fans, they'd take Diaz over Shea, which I don't understand. But that's just my opinion. I may be wrong, and Diaz could come to the Premier League at some point and smash it. Now, one that I would love, but again, I have to be realistic on and say that we won't sign, is Ollie Watkins, right? There is a lot of chat that he'd had, fallout with Gerrard. There was a lot of chat about the Mings and Gerrard stuff. Mings played at the weekend, was really, really good. We know what the English press are like. Maybe it's all BS, but there was talk of tension between Watkins and Gerrard, and therefore they want to sell. I don't see it. Apparently, Leeds United and Palace are looking at him, of course. I think he would move to Palace over us. I'm sorry, I think he would. But the thing is as well, I don't think Leeds United would have the money to pay for Ollie Watkins. I don't think they would have the money for Ollie Watkins. Sticky says Watkins is mild better than Adams or Tony. Better than Adams, I wouldn't say he's better than Tony, but again, it is all about opinions for me. But yeah, Ollie Watkins, I just want to have a look at it, if I remember rightly, what the paid for him from Brentford, was it about 30 million? They'll want what they've paid for at the least, and they paid 30 million for him. Leeds United won't go out and spend that on Ollie Watkins, 26-year-old. I just don't see them making that move. As much as I would love it, because I think Ollie Watkins would be great for Leeds United, I wanted us to get him and Ben Rama when we first came up. I wanted us to get him then, but he's well out of our price range. Now, if he has fallen out with Gerrard and he does push for an exit, then that might change. But, Villa are calm about the situation. Could be one to watch. But as I say, for me, I think he'd just be far too pricey for Leeds United. I don't think we would make them moves, if I'm being totally honest. I don't think we have the cash for that. He started one game this season and already got 2 assists. That's what he would give you, right? He would bring that to Leeds United. Very comparable to Shea Adams when you look at the actual stats and what they do, specifically when we focus on pressures, etc. Similar to Danny Welbeck, Joshua King. But this is what I'm saying. Like, if people said, we're going to sign Danny Welbeck or we're going to sign Josh King or whatever, people would be like, what? But they'd be all over Watkins. But he's very, very comparable. He's very, very comparable to these other players. I know this sounds mad, but I would take Danny Welbeck. Look at the job he did against Man United. He bullied them. But again, it comes down to finishing, doesn't it? And you could say that for Shea. You could say that for Danny Welbeck. You could say that for Bamford. They're all in that same bracket. But there you go. For me, Ollie Watkins is a pipe dream for Leeds United. It is a bit of a pipe dream. I don't see us making that one happen. I don't think Villa will sell him if I'm honest. Now let's see if we can. Are you ready?
Wilfried Gnonto.
There you go. That's the next player we're going to speak about. It is
Wilfried Gnonto.
Wilfried Gnonto. Okay, youth sensation, 18-year-old. Okay, this is being reported by some really, really reputable journalists, and I'm talking about Fabrizio Romano, and I'm talking about Di Marzio. Remember, people will say, what about the English? These guys have their finger on their pulse, right? And
Wilfried Gnonto,
as I say, is a bit of a youth sensation, currently playing at Zurich. His main position is just off the front man, a bit of a second striker, but can play centre forward and as an attacking midfielder, just 18-year-old. He moved from Inter to Switzerland to play for Zurich, amassed 12 goals and 9 assists. And last season, when you actually look at his goal involvements, he was up there with the best under-18s in the world. I think there was only Sesko at Leipzig and Bellingham ahead of him, but he got 15 goal involvements in total. And as I say, it's coming from two solid sources in Romano and Damasio. And apparently Leeds are looking to take
Wilfried Gnonto.
From Zurich. Apparently 4 to 5 million euros transfer fee, right? Which is cheap as chips when you consider his market value is around about 9 or 10 million. Okay. Now, I believe that's due to the fact that his current contract at Zurich expires next year. So he's got less than a year on his contract. But this is the thing, like, he's 18. Would we expect him to be starting? I'm not too sure. There is a lot of talk, about him, obviously, youth sensation and stuff. I've had a look at the All Stats Aren't We Discord, which I like to do because they're very, very knowledgeable. There's a lot of players saying this guy cannot be, starting for Leeds United in the Premier League. As much as the signing excites me, I'm not quite sure he should be, coming in. And like Solomon said, probably in the under-21 setup. Now, if Leeds United can make a deal happen for around about 4 to 5 million euros, then of course make it happen. But for me, we need first teamers. You know what I mean? We need first teamers. Sam said should definitely go in for Gnonto, but is he any more accomplished than Mateo Joseph? I would imagine so, bro. But like I say, I'm not bothered. You buy as many youngsters as you want, as long as the first team's doing bits as well. And we need to do bits. Another forward that has been linked is Brandon Vazquez. Now, it is unlikely that Leeds United will move this summer. He's 6'3", 15 goals in MLS this season, and he's tipped for a international cap for the USA men's national side. Strong in the air, clever footwork, confident hold-up play, which again is what Leeds United need. And Marsh is a big, big fan of him. But he's seen more of as a long-term option as opposed to a short-term option. So again, one may be in the summer. Leeds United will always be making, contingency plans for the summer. But again, I said Leeds United should have a new striker in by Chelsea by next Sunday for me. It's too quiet. Obviously, it came out yesterday about Kai Wagner. Make that one happen. But for me, we should already be hearing now on the grapevine that Leeds United have made a bid, that Leeds United are in discussions with. For me. Because Brandon Vazquez, all good. Wilfried Gnonto, all good. But they're youngsters. They're not gonna come in and get instant results. We need instant results right now. That's why I'd advocate, go and spend on Watkins. Go spend it. Go put a bid in for Shea Adams at 15 million. Go sign Watkins. Go sign Martin Terrier if that's the one you want at 35 million. Just go do it because we cannot continue with no striker. Like, the worry is for me is that the club will wait till about Wednesday and say, is Bamford going to be fit for the weekend? Is Joffrey back? Rodrigo scored 3 goals. He's going to have a good season. We'll start him up top. It's not enough. It's not enough. I think we have to go out and address it right now. And if Watkins is, speak to his people, put in a bid. Go get Shea Adams. I know he's not a lot of your choices, but he's cheap and would improve us next weekend. Because, like's been said in the chat, we just cannot rely on Patrick Bamford. Lisa says no more incomings. I was on that until this weekend. I think the club will do something now because they have to. We've said that, right? Like, I've said continuously, the only way the club will do any business is if we don't start well or Bamford gets injured. Not only has Bamford got injured, Joe Gelhardt was injured as well. And Joe Gelhardt already, in a short space of time, has a history of injuries. Isabella says nobody's coming. I disagree. I think we will get one in because we have to. And if they don't, then it's negligent. And when it goes tits up, we can say, you've done it again. You've done it again. Because they did it last season. We didn't progress. We shouldn't have dropped from 9th to 17th. Just shouldn't have happened. Should have put in the money. Got the players. Look at Lewis O'Brien. Got man of the match yesterday. We said he was too expensive in January. He'd have improved us. He got man of the match against a midfield that consisted of Rice and Souček. He bossed it. Bossed it. We could have got him in January. We decided to bank on Forshaw, who's a crock. I like Forshaw, but he's a crock. Guess what happened? He got injured. Bielsa got the sack. We're now with Marsh. If we don't get a striker, it's exactly the same scenario. What if Bamford is okay, but then the window shuts and he gets another injury and he's not okay for a period of time? We can't afford to be without a striker for 2, 3, 4 games. We can't afford it. A month, it's not enough. The fact that they're managing him through training tells you he's not in great shape. Last season, it wasn't just his foot. He got a number of injuries. Joffrey's already injured so much as well. Paul says you can't afford to be reactive. They shouldn't. It's not reactive, bro. They should have done it before he got injured. We all have said it. We all have said it. We have to, and it's just brought it more to the forefront now. We have to bring it more to the forefront now because of the injuries. It's not reactive. We should be doing it anyway. Like Sean Rules 877, we saw what happened when we didn't have a striker last season. John, explain to me when you're saying, yes, we have. Explain to me. What do you mean? Yes, we have what? Don't say we have a striker, because we don't, please. I'll have this argument all day. Someone told me last week we had 5. The club have only got 4 on the website, so I don't know where that comes from. Yeah, all them saying Watkins, Tony, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Agreed. But I don't think we'll do that. We have to be realistic. We have to temper our expectations. No. Rodrigo's not a striker, man. It's not a striker. Not for me. You get more off him. You get more off him behind, getting the ball in the tight spaces. If he's leading the line, no, he's not. He's not going to be able to hold it up and do everything that Leeds United require. You're getting it twisted because he's had a good start to the season. And I know you'll mention, yeah, okay, so you're mentioning about him playing number 9 and all that sort of stuff previously. He's never been prolific, has he? Never been prolific. Never been prolific. Like, his main position's just off the striker, innit? Just off the striker. Just going to have a look at his previous numbers. Get off there. Pause that. He's never been prolific, but his main position is off the striker as a second striker. Let me just have a look on FB Ref. 1 sec. And you need to think about what Leeds United need from a striker. What Leeds United need from a striker. He isn't what Leeds United need from a striker. But this is the thing, right? So let's talk, yeah? So people hammer Morpay, for example, to give you an option. People hammer Morpay. He's scored 26 goals in the Premier League. Rodrigo scored 16 up to now. Do you know what I mean? 16. His best season was at Valencia, where he scored 16 goals. But it's been less than double figures everywhere he's been, apart from Benfica, where he scored 11. So he scored 11 and 16 back in 17-18. But other than that, it's all been small amounts. He can't lead the line. I'll share this with you as well. Like, so if I show you, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you this, what I can see, yeah? And what Leeds United need from a striker. This is how I see it anyway, right? I'll share my screen with you. FB Ref. I'm only just started to use it, so I'm not like going to profess and I know what I'm talking about and all this sort of stuff, right? But if you look at Ollie Watkins here, right, what do Leeds United need from a striker? Well, we need all this stuff here from the front. Pressures, tackles, interceptions, blocks, all this sort of stuff comes into play when looking at Leeds United, yeah? And if we look at the strikers that are similar to Ollie Watkins, so Shea Adams, number 2 on that list of similar, like if you look at all this here, yeah, from the front. Now, if we were to compare it, now Ollie Watkins obviously better there, but if we were to compare it with Rodrigo, there he is. No, he isn't. That's not him. Where is he? There we go. If we compare Ollie Watkins to Rodrigo and look at his pressures and his stuff, it's shocking in comparison. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not great. Like someone's just mentioned Morpe there, so let's just have a look at him because I'm thinking of strikers in that mold that I think would suit Leeds United. I've just gone backwards. I look at. Oh, I've done it again. Sorry, one sec. Picture as well. There. If we look at Morpe, look at his pressures. This is what Leeds United would be looking at, things like that. Do you know what I mean? No, but Solomon, I'm focusing on defensive stats just because of what I believe we need from our front man. Like our man is that first guy that's going to initiate that press when we're running at the defenders. We know, right, as a fan base, that Rodrigo gets constantly overrun. He could never do it. Never do it. Massive holes in midfield. Do you see what I'm saying? Massive holes. Now, Rodrigo has, got 3 goals this season, but he isn't the man to lead the line for Leeds. Otherwise, Bielsa would have played him there, and Jesse Marsh would have played him there last season. Yes, he made a change. Yes, he made a change in the second half, and fair play for him to doing that. But there's a reason why they opted for James first, because of what he gives. Like Bamford's numbers are mad as well. Like I'll show you now, those that have just asked, well, what's Bamford's? And this is what Leeds United look for from a striker. If you ain't got this as well as this, then you're no good to us. Like, look, he's comparable to like Danny Welbeck, who everyone would laugh at. But again, he would give us a lot as well. I don't know. Listen, there's people that might look at that, but that's what we need. That's what we need. I don't think. Sorry if my Wi-Fi's gone a bit sketchy. I don't think. People just look at numbers and goals and assists and all that sort of stuff, which I understand. But there is other areas of the other areas of the strikers' game that Leeds United need to look at. It's not just Wi-Fi's back. No, but Sticky, you say Welbeck is garbage. He's not. Did you see what he did against Man United? Did you see what he did? Welbeck's not garbage. I'm not advocating the signature of Danny Welbeck, but you just look at a striker and think goals. That's it. But in Leeds United's system, it's so much more than that. I would prefer goals to be shared around. Harrison getting involved. No, well, Welbeck had his bang average. He had one good game. Well, he scored against us and had a good game against us last season as well. So, yeah, Isabella said the hold-up play is what we need most, and it's true. You look too much at just goals and come with, we need 15 goals. I keep saying we need this 15 goal a season, man, and all this sort of stuff. It's just not happening. Like, let me just run through the top 10 goal scorers in the Premier League last season, right? Mo Salah, right winger. Heung-min Son, left winger. Ronaldo and Harry Kane, centre forwards, outliers, goal scorers, someone Leeds United could never be in contention with. In fifth, Sadio Mane, left winger. Sixth, Kevin De Bruyne, attacking mid. Diego Jota, off the left. Jamie Vardy, centre forward, fair enough, goal getter. After that, Zaha, left winger. Sterling, right winger. Jarrod Bowen, right winger. James Maddison, attacking midfielder. Mason Mount, attacking midfielder. Bukayo Saka, attacking midfielder. Riyad Mahrez, right winger. Rafinha, right winger. Where's all the strikers? Where's all the strikers? This isn't the 90s. This isn't Shearer. This isn't Sutton. This isn't Sheringham. The striker role has changed. Apart from if you're elite, like a Jamie Vardy, like a Harry Kane, like a Ronaldo. Do you see what I'm saying about that, though? So all them there are all wingers or attacking midfielders. The only centre forwards in that list, right, if I look down it, right, okay, Harry Kane, Jamie Vardy, Ivan Toney, who someone said is rubbish, Timu Pukki, Ollie Watkins, Mikel Antonio, Emmanuel Dennis, who we should have been in for. Richarlison's in there, but you've got James Ward-Prowse, you've got Emile Smith-Rowe. Who else is on there? But do you see the point the point I'm making? Yes, Simon, unrealistic names that Leeds United just are not in the conversation for. So when people want to tell me that Danny Welbeck's gash, or that Shea Adams is gash, or that this person, we need better than all that, they're not there. And if they are, we're not in competition. And Stephanie, you said I need to stop the Rodrigo rhetoric. He hasn't been great. He's our record signing. I'm not going to about because he scored 3 goals and say, oh, he's amazing. Just looking further down, Phil Foden, centre midfielder, Maxwell Cornet, left winger. Then you've got Gabby Jesus, again, someone we're not in the conversation for. Ben Rama, Bernardo Silva, Kai Havertz, Trossard. Someone told me he was gashed the other day as well. Conor Gallagher, Gundogan, Neil Maupay. Again, not good enough, but he's in there. Jack Harrison, Lukaku, Callum Wilson, Danny Ings. Again, we wouldn't be able. Odegaard, Shea Adams. Yeah, not good enough. Rodri, Johan Visser, Harry Barnes. So when you actually look at out-and-out centre forwards, there's hardly any in there. Danny Welbeck's in there. Raul Jimenez. And think about them centre forwards. Danny Welbeck, Raul Jimenez, Shea Adams. You know, they all have Neil Maupay, who scored more than Lukaku, Wilson, Ings. You know, they all have very, very similar traits. And we would all, if I said to you, oh, Maupay, you go, gash, rubbish. You know, Shea Adams, gash, rubbish. Do you know what I mean? I that's what I mean. I think we have to be a little bit realistic and maybe think about that striker role and what he gives us, you know. Harmony says, seriously, 3 of our 4 goals after 2 games have a dig when he's dipping in form, not now. I'm not having a dig at Rodrigo. I'm just saying he can't lead the line for Leeds United. He can't lead the line for Leeds United. And that's why Bielsa and Marsh haven't done it before. He's done it once. I'm not saying that Rodrigo's not had a great start to the season. He has. He's our record signing. I want him to continue it. I'm not going to change my opinion after 2 games. I'm not going to do it. But I will change my opinion after a period of time because Rodrigo has gone missing and has also had good games. You know? But like Simon says, we want more pay anyway. He's in advanced talks with Forest. Hijack it. Hijack it. Hijack it. Sean says we saw he could not do it against Crawley in the FA Cup 2 years ago. There you go. JTEX says Raul is more crock than Bamford. I'm not advocating the signature of Raul Jimenez. I'm just giving you the Premier League scorers and stuff because the majority of them are wingers or attacking midfielders. Do you see what I'm saying? So, yeah. The last one I wanted to talk on, because we've gone down a rabbit hole, is James Garner. James Garner was someone I mentioned back in February. Apparently, you know, Man United fans are not happy. They're not happy because they're keeping McTominay. They would rather James Garner be given a chance at Man United. Man United now are open to leaving him. I think Ten Hag said, look, he'll be allowed to leave if a suitable bid arrives. They want about 14 million for him. He had an excellent loan last season at Forest. Forest probably would have taken him, but they've got options there now. They have got options there now. JTEX says, who is our top scorer this season? If that's like a, you know it is. If you want me to say, I'd be lying to you. Because he's scored 3 goals in 2 games, you want me to sit here and say now he's the GOAT. It's the start to the season, that is all. Yeah, Josh says 14 million for Garner is a steal. He's well thought of. He made it clear that he wants to play football. He's not been given them assurances. Look how they dealt with Dean Henderson, and I bet Man United fans would have preferred Dean Henderson at the weekend with his performance and then De Gea's performance. But listen as well. Don't Stephanie, don't be rude. I don't know why you're being rude. I'm not being rude to you. I'm not going to sit here. If you say I'm okay. I'm from Halifax. I have a season ticket. Yeah, have done for a long time. Please do not do that. A Mackham Glory supporter. My God, from Halifax. And get me frustrated because I said that I'm not willing to jump on the Rodrigo hype after 2 games. You want to start being personal to people. Like, no need. You'll just be removed from the channel. You come for my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, go elsewhere. That's all I'll say to you. That's the point. If you don't like my opinion, go elsewhere. If you're going to get annoyed watching the video, don't watch it. It's as simple as that. My opinion is Rodrigo, at this point, hasn't shown me enough. He is our record signing. And I am not going to sit here and lie to you and blow smoke up his ass after 2 games. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the side. I'm not saying any of that. Although what I will say, if Sinisterra was fit at the start of the season, I can guarantee you Jesse Marsh would not have started Rodrigo Moreno. He'd have gone with Harrison, he'd have gone with Cini and Aronson behind Bamford. But Rodrigo's had a profitable start to the season. 2 games. That's all. Now, if in 10 games, my man's continued scoring, yeah, then I'll say I'm wrong. Because I've done that. I was wrong on Jesse. I've said it. I'm now on board. I'm now on board. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, because that's not what I do. I'll only be truthful with you. And my opinion is I'm not going to jump on the hype that Rodrigo's the answer. Because he isn't. He isn't. As the main man, he's better off the striker for me. Yeah, Berisha was one that was linked as well, Bally, but I don't think... Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. Yeah, move on. I know I've spoken about Vazquez. I've spoken about Vazquez earlier on. James Garner, that's it all in a nutshell. That's all your latest links. I don't think there's anything new coming out. Let's have a look. I'll have a look now just on the internet just to see if there is anything. Let's have a look. 2 hours ago. Let's have a look at this. Leeds United have personal agreement in place with Target. Leeds United have come to a personal agreement with FC Zurich player
Wilfried Gnonto.
Yeah, we know about that one, don't we? We know about that one. Yeah, there's nothing really. I'm checking my notifications on Twitter as well, where I normally get my my info from. Doesn't seem to be. Listen, we can do one tonight. We can have a chat tonight during the Liverpool versus Palace game. We'll do one during the Palace game. I think the Connor's debriefs on as well, so you can get amongst that. That was just my thoughts on the current transfer and the current situation. But for me, we need a striker in. He needs to be in before Chelsea for me. Thanks as always for watching. Listen, it's all love. I love you all. I hope you have a great day. I'll be back tonight, as I say. You come for my opinion, and I'm grateful that you do come for it. Like the video on the way out, and I'll see you.